Hey, what's up? Welcome back to the channel, and today we take a look at modern women regretting feminism. So let's jump into it right after you subscribe.
Every day since we moved in together, I have woken up to a text message that says, "Good morning, my love. I hope you have an amazing day." The only day I don't get this is on Sunday because he's off. Also, every morning he kisses me on my forehead. It's not anything crazy, but it's like enough to not wake me up too much, but just a little bit to know, like, I love you. So what did I get this morning? Absolutely nothing. Not a text message, not a kiss, not a phone call, not a notification, not a pat on the shoulder. Who hurt you? What did I do to you? Are we fighting? Are you mad at me? Do you not love me anymore? Are we not married? Are we divorced?
Where's the heck to a girl when you need her? No, in all seriousness, it's not because he just suddenly doesn't love you. It's most likely because he was stressed or running late, but there is a slight chance that maybe he's upset at you. And if that's the case, the best question to ask yourself is not what have you done to him, it's what haven't you been doing for him. Damn, maybe we do need the heck to a girl.
It's a mistake. I lived quite a feminist lifestyle for quite some time.
What do you mean you lived a feminist lifestyle?
I'm independent financially and all of those things, and I kind of pursued my career for a really long time. I pursued my academics for a really long time. I really appreciate all of that. I think as you get older, you realize how unfulfilling all of those things are, and when you're sold that dream for a really long time, you're so convinced that that can't wait, and you're so convinced that marriage, kids, and becoming all of those things that are more traditional can wait, and really biologically it's the other way around.
As she herself said that her job and career was really unfulfilling for her, and women find their happiness in their kids and family, one should ask a question. What is the point of feminism, as asked by this girl here?
What is your opinion on modern-day feminism? Because I think it is one of the most harmful things to women. Also, how do we combat that along with harmful views on men? We're teaching our men to not be masculine. And
I'm not a big fan of feminism in any form. You know, I think that feminism from the very beginning was anti-family. But even the early feminists, if you look at the things they were saying about the family, they were not big fans of it. And they saw it as a patriarchal, oppressive institution. And so I think that feminism has, from the very beginning, been an attack on the family. And it's just that as it has lingered on, like a cancer, the cancer has spread and gotten more malignant. And so that's what we're experiencing today. There are some feminists, I think a small minority, who are realizing that all the trans stuff and the gender theory stuff is completely undermining everything they've worked for the past 100 years, even though most of what they worked for is pretty terrible in and of itself.
As he said, feminism is a cancer, and has always been a cancer. Something that was originated to destroy the family nucleus and make people's life miserable, and unfortunately, it has done a pretty good job in doing so. Now most men are afraid to even talk to women, and women are more lonely than ever and crying out for a guy like this girl here.
Look, I have a kid. I used to be like that until I had my kid. Now that I have my kid, like, I might be this, oh, I'm a boss bitch, da, da, da. But deep down in my heart, I would do absolutely anything to be at home and be like always with my child.
There you go.
But unfortunately,
and have a man protect you. Stop acting like, stop leaving out the man part. Yeah. Because for you to be home with your child, that means you got a man holding you down, protecting you.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, he's right, and that shit's hard. Like, but unfortunately, since I'm by myself, I gotta hustle, you know. Yeah. But I would do anything to have a man like.
That's what we saying. That's exactly.
God bless you. God bless you for telling the fucking truth. God bless you for telling the truth.
As she said herself, that she would do anything to have a man in her life. But that's the problem in today's world, that women are realizing it too late, that this woke culture, feminism movement, all this gender equality thing is bullshit and does nothing but destroys any chance of them having a happy and fulfilling life, as this guy says here.
She says, Patrick, this is very hard for me to say this. And let me tell you why it's very hard. I said, what's that? She says, ever since in high school, I wanted to prove to men that I can beat them. So when I graduated high school and college, I opened up my salon. We do very well. I've made millions of dollars. My people and my work that work at the salon, they do very well for themselves. I drive a nice car. I have a nice house. I have money. I have millions. I don't worry about any of that stuff. You know what decision I made last night? I said, what's that? She says, I want a husband. I no longer want to compete with men. I need them. And I'm like, what? She's saying this in front of 2,000 people with her sister sitting right next to her. And now she's getting emotional. How many 65-year-old women do we have to hear saying that I marched with the feminist movement and I bought into the fact that men are the enemy? I've never been married. I'm alone and I'm miserable and I wish I would have never bought into that philosophy.
And speaking of 65-year-old women, let's hear how this traditional women exposes and absolutely dismantles everything feminism stands for.
The threat of the women's liberation movement. Well, let me be clear. I am not against women succeeding. I am not against women working outside the home. That's their choice. But what I am against is a small elitist group of Northeastern establishment liberals putting down homemakers. Now, the libbers love to say that they're dedicated to choice. But if you dare to choose the path of full-time mother, well, there must be something wrong with you. I mean, if you don't feel enslaved, well, you're just dumb and unenlightened. In fact, you're not even a person. Because you see, the women's liberation movement is basically a very negative attitude toward life. It tells women, sister, the cards are stacked against you. When you wake up in the morning, you won't get a job. And if you do, it won't be a good one. And if you get a good one, you won't get promoted. And if you get married, your husband will treat you like a servant. And marriage is just a lot of dirty diapers and dirty dishes.
And that is the root cause of all this chaos. Cause women believed all the beautiful lies that feminism told them and started seeing men as the problem, the enemy to their progress in society, when in fact it was the other way around.
But don't take my word for it. Read their own literature. Betty Friedan, mother of the movement, wrote in The Feminine Mystique that marriage is, and I quote, a comfortable concentration camp. But it is not enough that they're demeaning us in the press. Oh no. Now, they want to use our miraculous Constitution to create a sex-neutral society through this so-called Equal Rights Amendment, which will mean that that baby girl will be drafted, and the men will be at home nursing the babies. I mean, can you imagine if Buck was left in charge of your children?
Oh, God help us.
Yes, that's right. It's ridiculous, and it's downright un-American, because women are the primary caregivers in the home because we bear the children. And if the liberationists have a problem with that, they're going to have to take it up with God. Because what is going to happen if you push women out into the workforce is that women are going to find themselves with 2 full-time jobs. And they're going to be exhausted and unhappy and feel like they're not doing either well.
Maybe that is their goal, to make the life of an average couple so difficult that men and women stop having babies, stop reproducing, and as studies show, boys and girls in their 20s are having the least sex in this generation.
I wasted 10 years on feminism and woke culture, and there was aspects of, you can be independent. You don't need a man and all of that New York woke bullshit that really happens.
When did you realize that it was a lie?
Honestly, probably like a year ago.
A year ago.
That's the problem.
What made you realize?
And it's interesting. Like, I started really listening to Andrew Tate's long form content.
Yeah. Nice.
And understanding truly what he meant.
Yeah.
And it really changed everything for me, and how I viewed men and women and relationships. And
my mom raised me to go, never cook for any man. You're going to be successful. You're not going to have kids until you're in your 30s or 40s. You're always going to take care of yourself first, because this is what she wanted for herself.
Right.
And she filled me with all of this. And I was like, this is what I want. I am not going to cook for any man. I'm going to be a feminist. And it wasn't really what I wanted. I didn't want, it's so hard, right? In this Me Too movement, whatever. But I don't want to be equal, the same as my man. I think that there is a man and there is a woman. And I think that's okay. We don't do the same things and we don't serve the same function in a household. But I didn't really know myself well enough to know that I am much more traditional, I realized, than I wanted to be cooler than I am.